Welcome to day 6 of our Europe vlog. Today was a big day. We were travelling all around Norway. We started by walking down to the station. I saw a new friend on the street. One of a couple of cats we saw actually on our way. We arrived at Bergen railway station to begin our day trip and caught the train out to a town called Voss. In Voss we saw snow for the first time on the mountains, which we thought was pretty cool. From Voss we then got on a bus and drove to Gudvangen. On the bus we passed through a number of towns that were covered in snow. A lot more snow than we saw in Voss, so our expectations were raised even higher. Some wonderful views of the mountains as we drove along as well. Once we arrived at Gudvangen, we got off the bus and had about an hour to wander around and just check out the sights. So this is the start of the fjord that we were about to cruise down. But we went on a little wander as well and saw some mountains, again covered in snow. It was quite cold, but beautiful sights for us to see. Then we got on the cruise ship, the electric boat, and started sailing down the Myrdal. And we were able to spend a couple of hours down there on the water, taking in the beautiful sights from the fjord, from the comfort of the ship. We alternated between going up on the top deck, getting absolutely freezing, and coming below deck to warm up, then heading back out and repeating the process all over again. But it was worth it, absolutely. There was lots of beautiful views of the fjords of Norway, including lots of waterfalls along the way. This was one in particular that the cruise ship stopped at, and we were able to get a good look at and film as well. Eventually we arrived in at Flåm, which has a very famous train. We stopped in at the Flåmsbana Museum before we started on the train trip and checked out a bit of the history of the train line and the trains themselves, signing the guest book there from Australia. And yeah, had a bit of a look around the museum before we got going. Once we got onto the Flåmsbana, we found our seats and began the journey. It's a very steep train line, one of the steepest in the world. It gains 865 meters of altitude across its 20 kilometers of tracks. Again, we were treated to a number of wonderful views. This is us leaving Flåm, heading up to Myrdal.
To the right, you can see Flåm Church.
About halfway along our journey, the train made a stop at the Kioskfossen waterfall, which was spectacular. The strongest by far of the many waterfalls we saw throughout the day. It was nice to get off the train and have a look. And then we continued on our journey to Myrdal on the Flåmsbana. Once we arrived at Myrdal station, we got off and had about half an hour before we caught our next train. But the station was covered in snow, so it was great to see that. And it snowed a very, very tiny bit. Edwin said it didn't count, but for us Aussies, we believed it did. And after that, we got on the train to head from Myrdal all the way back to Bergen, which was about a 2-hour and 15-minute train trip, so quite a long one. When we got back on the train, we decided to play some Ticket to Ride. This is totally not staged footage at all. Ellen was very much victorious. and Edwin got 0 points. And we then went home and enjoyed some pizza, which was delivered to us, ending a wonderful day.